Bang! Got the three and a foul.
Got wingman Foye. Up and in!
Yeah, Foye's Jazz hanging around the 7th, 8th spot thanks to shooting it much better this year. Randy, of course, brought in to fire away, and man, is he filling it up. Month of January, Foye is second in the NBA in three-point shooting at 51%, but Rod's here with us now to go beyond the player that we all see. There's so much more to this guy.
Yeah, we want to talk about Randy Foye, the person, and this is the first in a series of conversation to find out what makes these athletes tick, why they are who they are, and Randy Foye's story, unbelievable, Tom, if not miraculous. Yeah, outside looking in, Randy Foye has it all. Great wife and kids, making lots of money in the NBA, but to get to this spot where he is today, Randy has had to endure many obstacles a lesser man may not have survived. Growing up on the streets of Newark, New Jersey, tragedy striking early in his life. This is my conversation with Randy Foye. Let's go back to when you were 2 or 3 years old. What happened to your father?
My father died in a motorcycle accident. He was coming off the ramp to the exit of our house, speeding, going too fast, ran into the back of a vehicle, and his head went through the back windshield.
3 years later, at the age of 5, another tragedy in your life. Explain what happened on that day.
I remember graduating from kindergarten, and we had the ceremony in Dr. Emma Flag School, and I could just remember my mom's there with a flower dress on, just cheesing, smiling away, happy as ever, like I was graduating college. And I remember we went out to eat after that, and all of a sudden, it was like I didn't see her for a long time. I was like, man, what's going on? I asked my grandmother. No one would ever say anything. Then I would see detectives come to the house. Police officers always coming to the house. You know, usually if cops come to the house, or if cops come, it's like, oh, turn the music down, you're being too loud, or something bad happened. And if they're coming, the same officers coming with suits on, as I put it together now that I'm older, something bad had to happen. So I'm just thinking about it like, okay. And my grandmother, you know, every time they came, you know, she would let me go outside, or she'd go in the room and close the door, and I could hear her crying. I'm like, man, what's going on?
So you didn't know where your mom was for 3 or 4 years?
No, we didn't know. We didn't,
She just disappeared?
Exactly. My whole understanding was, as my grandma was explaining to me, that, you know, she was doing some things that, you know, she wasn't supposed to do. Obviously, probably selling drugs or whatever, and just got caught up in the wrong crowd. When my grandmother explained it, this was, she messed somebody's money up, and she was kidnapped and murdered. That's how she explained it to me as I got older. I was kind of numb to the situation because I didn't know what was going on for so long. I just knew that she wasn't around, but it's kind of hard to tell a kid that young that, you know, your mom just was murdered.
Okay, so you lost your father, you lost your mother, you're a teenager on the streets of Newark, New Jersey. Obviously, streets are filled with drugs and violence. How did you survive as a teenager?
I had an unbelievable circle, just of friends. Like I always say, God or some guardian angel had to be walking with me, because I'm not gonna lie, I wasn't a kid that just didn't do anything. I wouldn't say I wasn't the best kid, just put it that way. You know, I did some things that, you know, to this day I regret that I got in trouble for, but I learned from my mistakes. And it's just certain times where if someone say, hey man, let's don't go to, because there was a gym that opened up every night, don't go to the gym, let's stay out here, or let's hang on the block. And I'd be like, man, I want to go play. I want to go play. The season about to come up, getting ready. And then I come back out, and they be like, man, your boy just got locked up. I'm like, what'd he do? He was in a stolen car, man. They caught him. Wow. And then I wouldn't think about it then, but I go home and I lay down. And I say to myself, like, man, I I would have been like in that car if I didn't go to the gym. I remember one time, it was a guy over there. We used to always hang outside with him, and some sports event came up, and I can remember walking back from the from like the gym or whatever I was doing, and I walked to my aunt's house, and I walked past, and I saw like this guy laying on the ground, and I was like, that's the guy that I know. And then my aunt yelled from the window, like, get in the house, like that. And then my cousin opened the door, and then I was like, what happened? She was like, somebody just shot him. And it was like a guy who I knew, and he was laying there dead. And I'm saying to myself, like, and I was like, if I would have went to go play basketball, you know, I would have probably been out there or somewhere around, and it could have been me. That's why I always tell people, like, basketball saved my life.
As a teenager, Foye survived the streets of New Jersey, then went on to Villanova, and then became the 7th overall pick in the 2006 NBA draft.
The Boston Celtics select Randy Foye from Villanova University.
It was at that time, when he was taking his physicals, he had to let the basketball world know that he had a very rare condition.
That's when I was like, I have Situs Inversus.
And Situs Inversus is?
All your organs are switched, reverse.
So your heart's on the right side of your chest?
Yes. So my heart's over here on my right side, and my liver's over here. So that's how you can tell, because those two organs like are reverse.
And that's very rare.
Yeah.
And that doesn't affect you playing basketball at all?
No. When I was younger, they said, you know, you could get bronchitis or things like that, but it doesn't affect me at all.
Really?
I can run for days, yeah.
I don't want to make light of this, but when they say place your hand over your heart,
I still do it the American way.
you still do it with your right hand. You don't put it over on the other side of your chest.
I don't want no attention.
Yeah.
I joke with Randy, the team president, about it. I said, hey, you know my heart is over here, so if I put my left hand, because they want everybody to put their hand over their heart, and he started laughing.
Now, with all of your things that you've had to endure throughout your life, you have developed the Randy Foye Foundation. A lot of athletes do this. You are particularly proud of this because you're heavily involved in it. Explain what that is and why you're doing that.
I'm doing it because of my situation growing up, because of what I didn't have, what I didn't know, and what I wanted to know, things that I couldn't see that I wanted to see, places that I wanted to be and I couldn't go. And that's what we do for these kids.
Where am I? What just happened?
Hey, Randy, how's it going?
Porter, I should have known it was you.
Randy has also hit Hollywood, appearing as himself in a Canadian sitcom.
Enough with the negative talk. You just have to go out there and do your best.
And as we got out there, I kind of went blank on some of the lines, and I kind of made it up, but it kind of actually came out even better. Yeah. But it was cool.
Believe in yourself.
Now, Tom, Randy also appeared in another movie with Catherine Zeta-Jones. It was called Rebound. Didn't make it to the theaters quite. Right. It was released to DVD last year. Again, he played himself. But what an inspiration Randy Foye is. And he's trying to do everything he can to give back to his with his foundation. He flies some of his kids around to different parts of the country so they can see what it's like outside the concrete jungle of the streets of New Jersey.
That's a great part of the story that I really appreciate. Yeah. Now, that medical condition you talked about, how rare is that?
You know, we looked at it and we checked it out and checked all the journals, and 1 in 10,000 children have Situs Inversus. But really, the only thing the doctors tell him to do is hydrate well when he goes to high elevations like Denver. Other than that, it's he doesn't even think about it, he says. Yeah, so Randy Foye, an incredible way to get here. Now, if you would like to let us know who you would like us to interview and what questions you would like us to ask, go to facebook.com/KSLTV. Give us your ideas. It can be anyone from a current or past player or coach. It can be anyone. We'll go out and interview them and ask them your questions. So let me know.